Since you are saying that you would like to only speak about yourself and not perhaps make any comment about any of your other colleagues, so hence I'm asking you this question. For the longest time, it's largely known for those who have covered Maharashtra. I've covered it for several years put together, and we have never seen you speaking in divergent voice than Mr. Sharad Pawar. So when is it that you actually decided, you in particular, I'm asking you this question, when did you decide to actually side with Mr. Ajit Pawar, come along with him, and the discussions, how did that take place? When did he approach you? How did that work out?
Well, I think within the party senior hierarchy, we have been discussing this issue for some time. I'm not talking for years, but like in the recent past. And we did, express our views that, well, it would be the right thing to do. And largely the party is inclined towards taking this decision. I think some stage we will have to take a call. And trust me, we are not very happy with the MVA as an alliance, because you see, MVA was formed as a post-poll alliance. And if you go by any kind of, the reservation, what could be a reservation against the BJP? That we don't have an ideological, approach which is matching each other's, political views. That could be the only approach. The moment we have an alliance with the Shiv Sena, the ideological barrier anyway has come down. And Shiv Sena, in fact, has been more rabid in its approach against the NCP, and has always been vocal about their displeasure about the leadership of the NCP or the functioning of the NCP in the past. And if we can work with the Shiv Sena, so we could equally work with the BJP. That's not a real issue. And in India, in Indian politics, I have seen that you work with Mamta ji can go with BJP in the past. Nitish Kumar until 3 months back can be with the BJP, and suddenly overnight, from touchable to untouchable to touchable, these are kind of phrases which are used in Indian politics. So I think the larger picture is to be seen, appreciated. And today there is no denying the fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been a very popular leader, accepted by a large number of people. Otherwise, when you get in a parliament, how do you decide in democracy that who has the numbers and who has the backing of the people? It obviously reflects in the number of MPs who get elected. And twice over, he's got a complete majority, very popular in the country, very regarded outside the country. And I'm sure people of the country would look at stability, would look at strong leadership. After all, we have neighbors who are not very friendly to us. We have always skirmishes on the border. And it's best to have a strong government and a strong leader.
But when did you actually cement this, Mr. Patel? Because if I remember correctly, 10 days ago, you were part of that opposition unity meeting, sitting next to Ms. Supriya Sule, accompanying Mr. Sharad Pawar as the working president of NCP. Help me understand, when did you actually make up your mind? When did you, Mr. Ajit Pawar, Mr. Chhagan Bhujbal, even Mr. Bhujbal is considered to be a close aide of Mr. Sharad Pawar. When did you finally take that call that it's enough time to go with the Bharatiya Janata Party? Is there a date that you can fix and tell us?
No, don't break it into such a small technical detailing of dates. I can tell you largely that I'm telling you, even in 22 we were discussing internally whether we should have an alliance. It's not that we are talking today. Yes, the final decision may have been taken in the last week of or so, but the overall process, now you're talking of Patna, I went to Patna, of course I would go to Patna. Mr. Pawar was going there, he asked me to join him and I went there. And I can tell you, it was in fact an eye-opener also in some ways, that that so many people sitting in a room with so many different views, and maybe trying to find actually a one-on-one fight with the BJP is going to be virtually impossible. And rightly so, each party has its own views, has its own way of working. We shouldn't be commenting on that. Even on the issues like a Delhi ordinance, AAP party was saying something, Congress was saying something else. On UCC, AAP has said, yes, we want to support, somebody else is saying no, and somebody is saying we should discuss and debate. So there's so many different views. I mean, I'm not trying to bring one or two issues on the table, but I can tell you, I've been in Parliament for so many years, more than 3 decades. Continuously, and I know how Indian politics and the way I have been part of a coalition government and the minister in the UPA government, and the UPA experiment worked only well because Congress party had 150 seats in the first instance and 206 seats in the second instance. You also had 64 left party MPs in the UPA one which were supporting a government without any conditions. So you have to have a nucleus at least of 150, 200 MPs to be able to build a coalition around it. So if you start with
Mr.
50
Patel,
and 10 and 20 and 10 and 6 and 5 and you try to bring people together and say that I'll have a coalition and first people of India will be confused, who are we voting for, who's going to be a prime minister. Unless you come with the face of the prime minister, you won't be able to tell the people. If you give one name to the people, the other parties in the coalition may not agree to a particular name. So there are going to be so many contradictions, and that's why there is no doubt in my mind. After I came back from Patna, in fact, I was more convinced that whatever is happening is not going to work, and good in the next few days. Anyways, we were inclined, and then we had a conversation and cemented the whole thing.